So, in case of RLC circuit.
Hello everyone, welcome to M Electrical YouTube channel. I hope you all are good and safe. Today, in this video, we will discuss about the power factor. Here, we will come to know what is power factor, what are the different aspects of solving power factor problems, how the impedance triangle, power triangle, admittance triangle, voltage and current triangle are related to the power factor. And at last, we will also know how to improve the power factor. So, keep watching.
Today, in this video, we will discuss about the power factor, that is in short P dot F. Okay. Power factor, first we will see what is the definition of power factor. Actually, power factor is nothing but the ratio of working power to the apparent power. Okay, this working power denoted by P and apparent power denoted by S, and its unit is kilowatt. Okay, and apparent power unit is kVA, kilovolt ampere. Okay, so from it is also called work power. Working power has another name as it is denoted by P. So P has name working power 1, working or true power or active power or real power. Okay, and in kilowatt. This apparent power or sometimes called total power, it is in kVA. Okay, and if we know the power triangle, that is this one is P, that is active power, and this one is Q, and its vector sum, it is S. So this one is active power, this S is apparent power, and this Q is reactive power. So other part, that is Q, it is called, as P is called working power, so Q also called non-working power. Non-working power or reactive power, and its unit is kVAR, kilovolt ampere reactive. Okay, P is working power and Q is non-working power. It is called non-working power, but in circuit this Q has an important role. How? We'll see. This power factor is the expression of an energy efficiency. It's called energy efficiency. How? We'll see. Let's say there is a motor, okay? There is a motor, and this one is the stator part where we are giving supply, okay? And this one is rotor. Our target is to rotate this shaft. Rotation of rotor, that is, suppose to rotate this rotor the power required is 3 unit, that is in kilowatt, and we are giving supply to the stator part, that is 5 unit in kVA. We are giving supply 5 kVA, but from the rotor we are getting 3 unit. What is the remaining? From power triangle it is clear, it is working power, that is our targeted work, and if this is reactive part, then the vector sum is S, apparent power, okay? We are giving supply this much, we are getting our work this much. This part is also important for a circuit. If we represent this one as in a circuit, that is, it will be like this. Here it is Vs, supply voltage, and the load is inductive in nature, that is RL load. This P, working power, is being consumed by this resistor. But whatever we are giving supply, that is in terms of S, but this inductor, whatever the amount of power is being consumed in this inductor, that is Q, reactive part. Here in case of motor, this Q is being used in terms of magnetic field. We are giving supply to the stator, but because of this air gap there is some reactive part, and their Q is being used to induce some voltage in the rotor, then the rest process at the rotation we are getting. So this Q we can see in terms of Q is used in magnetic field or electric field also, such as solenoid coil, motor coil, it may be transformer coil, okay? There this Q is being used. Our achievement this is this P only, and we have to give the supply this S amount, but this Q has also an important role to get this P amount as outcome. So to achieve this P, we are giving supply S 5 unit and achieving 3 unit. So in the magnetic part, the amount of power used in terms of Q is 4 unit, okay, from this power triangle. See, this is P is 3, Q is 4, and if this is 5, so we know S equal to root over of P square plus Q square. So if it as P is 3, so 9 plus 16 root over 25 equal to 5, okay, this S is 5. So in another way we can say this power factor as equal to P divided by S, whatever we have seen, equal to power used divided by power delivered. Okay, so we have seen the power factor is an expression of energy efficiency. That means we are delivering power of 100 unit and we are getting the working power as 80 unit. So the power factor will be 0.8 power factor. If the load is inductive, then it will be lagging. If it is capacitive, then it will be leading. Depending upon the type of load, it will be lagging or leading. Okay, so we are giving 100 unit and we are getting as working power 80 unit. So it is efficiency here. We are giving this much and getting this much. So 0.8, that means 80% is the efficiency of the system. 80% is the efficiency of the system. Okay, so we can say easily that is 95% power factor is much better than 75% power factor. Okay, so in case of power factor, we have to keep the power factor near about 1. Why and how we will keep this power factor amount, that is the next part. But our target is to keep the power factor 1. So in terms of percentage, we can say 100%. So we have to achieve the power factor percentage at 100%. And in general, in our houses, whatever motor we use, our energy system assume the power factor as 0.8. It's in general. But in case of transformer, you will see the power factor is more than or around 0.95. So transformer has energy efficiency more than any motor. Okay, sometimes the Q, that is reactive power, is also called wattless power also. Note this. So how to measure this power factor? To measure this power factor specially, we can use power quality analyzer or power analyzer. We can use this one to measure this power factor. This one measure P as well as S apparent power also. So if we know the P and the S value, so it will be easy to find out the power factor, because power factor is nothing but the value ratio of P divided by S. So P and S ratio is the power factor. Okay. In general, whatever the load we use are either resistive or inductive or capacitive. The load may be resistive or inductive or capacitive in nature. Depending upon these three passive element parameters, we will see three cases here. Let's see. This is supply voltage and the load is capacitive in nature, purely capacitive. Okay. And the second case is, if this one is supply voltage, then the load is resistive in nature. And the third one is supply voltage and the load is inductive in nature, pure inductor. here we have to assume two cases. First one is Vs equal to 240 volt and this Xc, R and XL, that is reactance, these two reactances and the resistance, that is total impedance of all three circuits. The total mod value of impedance is fixed value. We can take this value as 60 ohm. Okay, mod Z equal to 60 ohm. If we assume this 2, then see, this is IC, this is IR, and this one IL, inductive current. So from here, IC value will be equal to Vs divided by Xc. Here Xc is, if we take mod value, mod current value, then we will take modulus of this. But if we have to find out the power factor, so we will not only consider the mod value. IC equal to Vs divided by, and the capacitive reactance value is minus Jxc. Here the mod Xc is 60 ohm, so it will be minus J60. Jxc. If we put two values, Vs equal to 240 volt, so we can take the angle as 0 degree, minus J, Xc value is 60 ohm, so 240 angle 0 degree divided by 60 angle minus J, so minus 90 degree. For angle plus 90 degree. So IC equal to 4 plus 90 degree, but Vs value 240 angle 0 degree. So here, if we draw the Vs, that is 240 angle 0 degree, if this one is 0 degree, so it is the reference line, so the IC will be for magnitude angle 90 degree. So from plus 90 degree, so here one thing we have already said in previous video, that the angle, anti-clockwise angle, we have assumed here anti-clockwise angle is positive. Okay, so plus 90 degree, this is IC. That means this IC current, capacitive current, is leading this reference voltage Vs by plus 90 degree. So this IC is leading this Vs. Here it is capacitive load. Okay. And for this resistive load, if we see, IR will be equal to Vs divided by R. R equal to Z 60 ohm, so it is 4 angle 0 degree. That means if V is 240 angle 0 degree Vs, then IR is magnitude is 4 and angle is same 0 degree, that is reference line. In magnitude it is 4, but Vs magnitude is 240, so Vs is much greater than IR in magnitude only, and both have the same angle. that is 0 degree, which is reference line. So here the angle between this supply voltage and the current IR, the angle between these two is 0 degree. Okay, here it is plus 90 degree. And for this inductive load, if we see IL equal to Vs divided by inductive reactance value is always positive, that is JXL. So Vs divided by JXL, that is 240 angle 0 degree divided by JXL. Mod XL value is 60 ohm. So this J will come upside, minus J, 240 divided by 60 angle 0, 4 angle 0. That means it will become 4 angle minus 90 degree. So here Vs is 240 magnitude and angle is 0 degree, that is reference line, and IL is in magnitude it is 4 but the angle is minus 90. So as we have taken the anti-clockwise angle is positive, so the negative angle will be in clockwise direction. Minus 90 degree. So here we can say this IL inductive current is lagging behind this Vs supply voltage by an angle of 90 degree. So it is lagging angle. Okay. So from here we can say for inductive load the power factor will be lagging, and for capacitive load the power factor will be leading, because here the current is leading the supply voltage Vs. So here the power factor is nothing but the angle between cos of power factor equal to cos phi, where phi is the angle between this voltage and current. So if phi is angle between voltage and current, for here the angle is plus 90 degree, so here power factor will be cos of plus 90 degree. So it is nothing but 0 power factor. But from here the power factor, that is cos phi, cos of angle between the current and voltage, here both are in same phase, so the angle is 0 degree, cos 0 degree, that is 1. Here the power factor is 1. And here the power factor is cos of minus 90 degree. It is also 0. So from these two we can say power factor is 0 when the load is either inductive or capacitive. Not only inductive capacitive, it must be pure inductive and it must be pure capacitive. Then only the cos of negative angle is also positive, cos of positive angle is also positive. That's why it is coming the same value. So whether it is pure capacitive or pure inductive, so for both cases current and voltage between angle will be 90 degree. Here it is leading and here the current is lagging, but the angle value is same, that is 90 degree. Because of this 90 degree the power factor is coming 0. Okay, but just before few minutes we have said that our target is to achieve power factor 1. There is penalty system also. If power factor is very low than 1, this 1 value, if power factor is very low, then the energy supplier may charge from you because of low power factor. Okay, why? See, before that, see this one. If this circuit, or for this circuit, the load is not purely capacitive. In general, there is no load which is pure capacitive or pure inductive or pure resistive also. We cannot make a circuit pure capacitive, pure inductive or pure resistive, because if we try to make a circuit resistive, there must be some inductive part also. If we try to make some inductive load, then resistive part also be there. And for capacitor also, there is no ideal capacitor present in reality, so there must be some resistive part also. So in practical cases, there will be this purely capacitive load, it will be RC load like. Okay, so if the load is RC load, then what will happen? See here, in case of resistive load, the IR and VS both are in same phase. In case of capacitive load, the current is leading the voltage by 90 degree. Okay, so in case of RC circuit, we can say the current will be somewhere between this 0 degree and 90 degree. It may be here, it may be here, it may be here. So here's the power factor. If the current is plus 90 degree, then power factor is 0. When the current is in same phase with this voltage, that is resistive load, then power factor is 1. So here the power factor, this RC circuit, the power factor value will be somewhere between 0 to 1. Okay, 0 to 1. In case of inductive circuit also, the load in general is RL load. Okay, here for purely inductive load, the current is lagging the supply voltage by 90 degree, and for purely resistive load, it is in same phase. So for RL circuit, if this is supply voltage, that is in phase 0 degree, so this current I will neither be minus 90 degree nor will be in same phase with this VS. So this I will be somewhere between these two. It may be here, it may be here. Depending upon this R and L value, this current will be somewhere between these two. If the current is lagging purely inductive circuit, then power factor was 0. So if the current is here, power factor 0. If the current is same phase with VS, then power factor is 1. So here also for RL circuit, the power factor will be somewhere between 0 to 1. Power factor value will be between these two range. Okay. So from here we have seen for capacitive circuit, the power factor is leading in nature, because here the current IC is leading this reference voltage, that is supply voltage VS, by 90 degree. And in case of inductive circuit, if supply voltage is a reference line, then the current IL is lagging this supply voltage by 90 degree. So for inductive circuit, whether it is RL or PRL, the current is lagging. No, it is not in same phase. As there are inductive L part is there in a circuit, so it will be lagging in nature. Okay, and if there is pure capacitive,
or RC circuit, the load will be leading in nature. So always in these two types, always find out the value of angle between this V and current, voltage and current. Find out the angle between them, and we know power factor is cos of angle between voltage and current, that is phi. Put this phi value and find some value. Suppose it is 0.8. If the load is capacitive in nature, write beside this leading. If it is inductive in nature, write the power factor lagging. Okay. If in a circuit both inductor and capacitor is present, then what will happen? So in case of RLC circuit, this one is R, this is inductor, and this one is capacitor. For this type of RLC circuit, how to find out the power factor, we'll see. R value is fixed, it will be given. Okay, and from this L we will get JXL value, and from this capacitor we will get minus JXC, that is capacitive reactance value. And if we see mod XL value greater than mod XC value, then we will come to conclusion that as XL is greater than XC, so the circuit is inductive in nature. Then whatever the power factor value will come, we will put lagging word beside that, because for inductive circuit the power factor is always lagging in nature. Okay, and if we see, and for this case, as JXL part is mod, so we will draw R as a reference, and for JXL it will come upside, that is overall X value, and the vector sum is Z value. Okay, XL is the difference between these two, that is reactive capacitance value. And from this triangle we will get this triangle R value, X value, and from these two we will get Z value as Z equal to root over of R square plus X square, and we will get Z value, and at last the power factor value we will find as power factor equal to R divided by Z. Okay, now if we get minus JXC, that is mod XC value greater than XL value, then we will tell the load is capacitive in nature. As this is capacitive in nature, so the power factor will be leading in nature. Okay, then this will be R, X, and we will find from this R and X value the Z value. So here also the same power factor formula, power factor will be R divided by Z. In case of RLC circuit, whether it is inductive or capacitive in nature, we will find out. Suppose this is J6, this one is minus J4, so it will be inductive in nature. And if this XC value is minus J8 and this is J6, then XC greater than XL mod value, then it will be capacitive in nature. In this way, from this JXL and JXC, these two value, we will come to know whether the overall circuit is inductive in nature or capacitive in nature. If it is inductive nature, that is XL greater than XC, then it will be lagging in nature load, and if XC greater than XL mod value, then the load will be leading, the capacitive in nature, and the power factor will be leading type. Okay.
and we will find out the power factor value in this way, R divided by Z. Okay. Suppose the circuit is inductive in nature. Okay. For impedance triangle, we have seen how power factor we will find out. And in case of power triangle, if we see, then we will draw this P, that is working power, as the reference, and Q, and the vector sum will be S. As this is inductive in nature, so JXL, it will be more. That's why J part, J means plus 90 degree. This one is R and plus 90 degree. So that's why X is upside. Okay. Here see. Here also for inductive circuit, JQ will be more. That's why it is here also the Q is upside. And in case of capacitive circuit, this power triangle will be like this. If this is P, it will be Q, and the overall it will be S. Okay. And from this power triangle, we will find out P by S, so we will get the power factor value. Here also the same formula. The formula is same, but the way to represent the triangle is different. So, if this one is voltage, and this one current vector, and the angle between these two is phi, then we already know from this type the power factor we will find equal to cos of phi. This phi is angle between this voltage and current. Okay. And the power factor also from impedance triangle, it will be R divided by Z. And from power triangle, it will be P divided by S. We have seen up to this. For voltage triangle, for a series circuit, suppose this one is supply voltage, here is resistor, and for inductor, capacitor. Suppose for this reactive part, the voltage drop is Vx, and for this resistive part, the voltage drop across this resistor is Vr, and the supply voltage is Vs. Okay. For this circuit, the voltage triangle will be Vr. If VL greater than Vc, then it will be Vx, and the overall will be Vs, supply voltage. Okay. From here, Vs equal to root over of Vr square plus Vx square. From this voltage triangle also, for the series circuit, we can find out the power factor as Vr divided by Vs. And for parallel circuit, this one is overall current which is being supplied to the circuit. This is resistive part, this is inductive and capacitive. Here it is, this portion is for reactive part. Okay. And this reactive part is consuming the current Ix, this resistive part consuming current IR, and the overall current being supplied by this source is I. Okay. For this current triangle will be, if this is IR, this is Ix, then the resultant will be the total current I. Here also I equal to root over of IR square plus Ix square. from this current triangle also we can find out the power factor is, that is IR divided by I. Okay. In this way, we can find out the power factor from different aspect, different type of circuit, different type of network. In this way, we can use all these shortcut methods to find out this power factor value. And one point which is very important, when we will find out the power factor, then we have to specify, suppose VR by Vs when we are doing, we are getting 0.7. Okay. We have to mention here whether the circuit is inductive or capacitive in nature. Nature of the load will be decided by this word, either lagging or leading. For this power factor, one term you will find out that is poor power factor. Poor power factor means we have already told that our target is to achieve 100% power factor. Then what will happen? 100% mean from power triangle we can see if this is P and this is Q and this is S, power factor equal to P divided by S equal to 100%, that is 1, then P equal to S. At the P equal to S, that means which one is P? That is also S. That means Q part is neglected. We have to neglect this Q part, then only it is possible to achieve the power factor as 100%. But for any type of load, there must be either magnetic circuit or electric circuit such as coil. For that, Q will exist, Q must exist. Then what to do? In general, the load is inductive in nature. That means RL circuit. We cannot neglect this L part. So this Q, or in case of impedance triangle, the X part, or voltage triangle Vx, or in current triangle Ix, this X part we cannot neglect. So in a circuit or for a load, as this L will exist forever, so what we can do to get the power factor 100%? This 100% mean, another way we can say, if this is V, then current will also be in same phase, then only the angle between this voltage and current will be 0 degree, then only it is possible cos 0 degree equal to 1, that is power factor. Then only power factor equal to 1 will be possible when the voltage and current and between them angle will be 0 degree. But in general, as the load is inductive in nature, so it is like this. Current will must lag this voltage by some angle. Okay. That means this Q part will must exist. So for these two cases, same case, to achieve this 100% power factor, that is power factor equal to 1, our target is to bring this current in the same phase of voltage, and for this triangle our target is to make this S value equal to P value, that means bring this S to P. Our target is to that, but Q will always exist. Here the load is inductive in nature, so what we can do, this is for inductive circuit and this triangle, power triangle, is for capacitive circuit. So from these two figures we can say that if we put a capacitive circuit or a capacitor across this load, then what will happen? Then the Q value, the P and S value is depending upon this P and Q value. So what we can do is, if we put this capacitor across this load, then the QC value is downward. So this QC value, as both will be punched, so the overall Q value, that is QL minus QC, we can make the difference between these 0. That means after putting this capacitor value, we can suppose here the QL value is 6 unit. So if we put a capacitor where QC equal to 6, then this QC will be downward. So this QC will bring this QL downward. This is plus 6 and this is minus 6. So the resultant, what we can see is QL minus QC, 6 minus 6, it will be 0. Then the Q value will be neglected, automatically be neglected by this capacitor. Neglected, then P value and S value both will be same. We cannot neglect this Q value, as the load in general is inductive in nature. So the power triangle in general will be like this. But what we can do is, we can put a capacitor across this load circuit, so that overall QC can bring this QL value towards the downward. So the overall Q, that is resultant Q, becomes 0 or near about 0. So the P and S value will be equal. When the P and S value will be equal, then we will get the power factor as 1. Here also, from this figure also, the same theory, if we apply, we will see the inductive, in general, the load is inductive in nature. That's why for RL, this current is lagging from this voltage. When we will put this capacitor, then this capacitor will also consume some current, that is also IC. This IC has the tendency to put the resultant current towards the upside, that is IC will lead the voltage. So now the I is lagging in nature. After putting C, this capacitor, that is capacitive current, will try to pull this I towards the upside, as capacitor is leading in nature. So the resultant current will be in same phase with this voltage, then only the power factor will be 1, which will be our target. Again, I want to say that in general, the load is inductive in nature, so we cannot neglect this inductive part. What we have to do is, we have to put capacitor, so the overall this capacitive part will try to neglect this inductive part, so the resultant circuit will be resistive in nature. As the circuit will be resistive in nature, then the voltage and current will be in same phase, then only the power factor value 1 we can achieve. This way we can make poor power factor to a better power factor value. Okay, if the load you have connected to the supply, which is of poor power factor, then the energy supplier may charge from you. That means you may get punishment from the energy supplier for this poor power factor. One more triangle which we forgot to discuss is admittance triangle. Admittance triangle is like this. This part is G, this is B, and the resultant is Y. Okay, and the angle between this G and Y is phi. cos phi power factor. This one is called admittance triangle. Okay, if BL greater than BC, it will be inductive in nature. If BC greater than BL, then it will be capacitive in nature. Okay, from this admittance triangle also we can find out the power factor value. That is power factor equal to G by Y. Okay, remember this one.
If you have any doubt related to any topic of electrical engineering, then you can comment in the comment section below, or you can mail us. The email address is given on the screen. We will try to answer your doubt in any one of these 3 languages. Thank you.